Welcome back, and here's your latest Sacramento housing market update. In a span of just 1 month, new home sales in the region went from the highest levels since 2005 to the lowest levels in about 3 years. Some very big changes happening right now in Sacramento. I'll also talk about what's happening right now regarding existing home sales as well. So let's first share this article I shared with you guys about 1 month ago. Posted on March 13th. This is from the North State Building Industry Association. They basically track new home sales in the greater Sacramento area. So for February, that report I shared with you guys back in mid-March, they announced here that Sacramento area new home sales continued at a fast pace in February as area home builders recorded the region's highest February sales totals since 2005. February sales were up 31% from January and up a whopping 37% from February 2023. So a huge increase of sales for brand new home construction. Now look at this article just posted on April 10th for the month of March. Vastly different scenario here. It says here that new home sales remain strong in March. However, take a look at this though, because here's a look at new home sales for each March going back to the year of 2014. So for this March, there was 604 new home sales. This is a 3-year low for a March, the lowest levels since 2020. But we're still fairly higher compared to pre-pandemic levels. So for example, back in 2019, 477 new home sales. Now there's 604. But again, much different compared to last month's article stating here that new home sales absolutely surged, the highest level since at least 2005. Pretty astonishing though as well is that back in February, 762 sales, but this March, only 604. So pretty crazy to see that during a time when you tend to see more home sales, which is in March, April, and May, the spring home buying season, we actually had far fewer sales this March compared to February. In any case, they also break this down by each of the cities as well. So the most new home sales this March occurred in Roseville, 144, followed by Elk Grove, Folsom, Rancho Cordova, and Lincoln. The vast majority of these home sales were in the range of $500,000 to $750,000. What I really wish they would do in this monthly article from this association is I really wish they provide some insights regarding how many builders are offering incentives to home buyers. Because overall, based on home tours I do with clients in the Sacramento area, the vast majority of home builders are offering at least a $10,000 closing cost credit. In other words, your out-of-pocket expenses in buying a brand new house would be decreased by about $10,000. On top of that, some builders are offering that or a $15,000 credit and offering a lower rate as well, because of course rates have been spiking as of late. As of Friday, April 12th, the average 30-year fix for people with great credit, according to the Mortgage News Daily, is around 7.3%. We saw a huge increase on Wednesday. In any case, but because rates are at very elevated levels right now, a lot of home builders are offering all these incentives, a closing cost credit, free builder upgrades, and also offering to pay down your rate to entice you to buy a house. So just so you know, the figures when talking about any sale for brand new home construction, what we really don't know is what are the incentives that were offered to those home buyers. And that, coupled with the fact we have a relatively low level of existing houses compared to pre-COVID, is one of the main reasons why we're seeing this uptick in sales compared to pre-pandemic levels. They also shared this as well. Here's the share of houses that sold by each of these price ranges. So for houses that sold for over $1 million that were brand new houses, there was only 27 of the 602 or 604 sales this March. The vast majority were sales in the range of $550,000 to 600,000, around 151 houses sold. After that was in the range of 650 to 700,000 at 94 houses sold this March. All right, let's change gears slightly here and talk about existing home sales, excluding brand new home construction in entirely different markets. So in any case, according to Redfin, for existing home sales for the month of February, the most recent stats we have from them, the median sold price, $475,000, only up by 1.1% compared to February of 2023. As you can see here, over the past 5 years, we're at $475,000. Back at the peak, which was set back in April of 2022, the peak was at $530,000. So even though we're up 1.1% year over year, we're still down compared to the peak that was set back in 2022. In regards to the number of closed home sales, these are finalized transactions. You can see, especially compared to the past 3 years, the level of sales going more or less down here. And right now there was 280 houses that sold in Sacramento for the month of February, and that's down by 7.9% on a year-over-year basis. This is also down big time compared to the peak, which was in June of 2021, when at that time there was 694 existing closed home sales. So overall, home prices are up slightly, up by 1%, yet closed home sales are down by about 8%. And have been going down for quite some time. On top of that, days in the market, this is a time frame when you list your house for sale until you accept an offer from a home buyer. That's days in the market. That's at 12 days this February, which is 23 days faster compared to a year ago. Back then, days in the market was at 35 days. So prices up, sales are down, and also houses selling much faster compared to February of 2023. Also, how hot is the Sacramento housing market? According to Redfin, it is very competitive. Many houses are getting multiple offers, some with waived contingencies. The average house sells for about 1% above the asking price and goes pending. In other words, the seller accepts an offer in 14 days. Hot homes can sell for about 4% above the list price and go pending in about 6 days. So it really depends on the condition and the asking price of the house. I'm seeing a lot of houses that are in move-in ready condition, highly remodeled. They're priced right and they sell within a week, less than a week. They sell way over the asking price, even though we have rates at about 7% or over 7% right now. But in contrast, houses that are overpriced, and especially those that need a lot of work, they're just sitting in the market. So it really depends on those two factors. In any case, when looking at the averages though, for February, the average sale price to final list price ratio is 100.2%, which means on average, houses sold for 0.2% above the seller's list price. This ratio, by the way, is slightly above pre-COVID levels. So back in February of 2019, that ratio was at 98.8%, which means that houses on average sold for about 1% below the seller's asking price. Now they're selling right around the asking price. Also for the month of February this year, approximately 48.9% of houses sold above the seller's list price. This means, of course, that approximately 51% sold at or below the seller's list price. But at 48.9%, this is much lower compared to the peak that was set back in the spring months of 2022, when at that time, the vast majority of houses were selling for over the asking price. In fact, that percentage was at 76.7%. However, when looking at February of 2019, that ratio was only 35.8%. So right now, this is basically kind of my takeaway. We have a competitive housing market. It's not as crazy as 2022 or 2021 at this time, when at that time that ratio was at 63%, but it's still hotter compared to the pre-pandemic norms because February 2019 at 36%, now it's at 49% selling above the seller's list price. Also, in regards to the number of offers, in general, I'm seeing approximately 1 to 3 offers per property. Some properties were getting many more offers, but back in the spring month of 2022, I would say the probably average was around 6 offers per house. So it is a competitive market, but not nearly as crazy as the past several years. Let's also take a look at the percent of price drops this February. That's at nearly 27% right now, which is much lower compared to the peak back in August of 2022, when the share of price drops was at 54%. Let's look at February 2019. Back then, the share was at 23.2%. So the ratio of price drops at approximately 27% is slightly higher compared to pre-COVID levels. In regards to Sacramento migration and relocation trends, I actually found this to be really interesting here. This is for January this year through March. So it says 30% of Sacramento homebuyers search to move out of Sacramento, while 70% look to stay within our area. Across the nation, 2% of home buyers search to move into Sacramento from outside metros. What they basically look at is that Redfin tracks your IP address and looks at where are you living and where are you searching in order to gauge migration patterns. So it says that San Francisco home buyers search to move into Sacramento more than any other metro, followed by Los Angeles and Visalia. So we're getting the most searches for people living outside of Sacramento. We're seeing those searches more often than not in San Francisco, followed by Los Angeles and Visalia. In regards to people moving out of Sacramento, Las Vegas was the most popular destination among Sacramento home buyers, people located here, followed by Nashville and Boise, Idaho. And with that said, if you guys are looking to buy or sell a house in the greater Sacramento area, please email me at jason@meetjasonwalter.com. Or if you want to move out of Sacramento, then please check out my website, which is realestateteamfinder.com. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.